many small rivers across North America, the Raystown branch of the Juniata holds lots of rock bass and bluegill. Yet there are plenty of anglers that come here and leave a few hours later with nothing. And those are the ones that typically put that fishing equipment back on the shelf and conclude that they just don't have the patience to go fishing. Well, in a case like this, those people probably have plenty of patience. What they really need is a knowledge of where to find the fish. And chances are a short distance from where they got skunked is a place where they could have pulled out one fish after another. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 factors that will help you locate panfish on a river. Before we get into the action, I'd like to talk about a product that I recently ran across. It's called Hydrolock from Rain Guard. Now, if you spend any amount of time in the outdoors, you're going to occasionally get caught in the rain. And when that happens, everything gets soggy. Your gloves, your hat, your backpack, and this product can help out. I put this to the test by applying it to my favorite hat. But before I did that, I tested this by using a sprinkling can to put water onto the hat, and immediately it soaked up the water and got soggy. Once I treated it with Rain Guard, I did the same test again, and the water just beads and runs off. And best of all, my hat still looks and feels exactly the way it did before it was treated with Hydrolock. Well, this product can be applied to a variety of surfaces, just about any porous surface that you want to protect from the elements. Things like gloves, hats, umbrellas, tents, patio furniture, even wood and masonry. Now, if you're interested in learning more about this product or purchasing it, click on the first link you see in the description below. And now, let's get back to the action. The first thing we need to talk about is structure. Now, structure is basically anything that gives a fish a place to hide. Things like boulders, rocks, logs, or undercut banks, for example. To survive, a small fish needs to hide from predators, and structure allows them to do that. And bigger fish like structure as well, either to catch a break from the current or to be near where the small fish are hiding, and so they can occasionally catch one to eat. Don't expect to find panfish where the river bottom is smooth. Move to where there's structure and you'll find the fish. The next thing we should mention is current patterns. Now, obviously the water in a river flows downstream, but there are certain areas you can find where the water is stationary or moving upstream. We sometimes call those current breaks. And when you find an area like that, many times you can find that they hold a lot of fish. And this is especially true in the spring when the water level is high and it's rushing pretty quickly, because those fish are looking for a place that's not quite so swift where they can catch a break from the current. A lot of times on the outside of sharp bends in the river, you can find places where the water is maybe stationary or moving upstream. You also might find areas like that below rapids. There might be certain areas where the water is kind of swirling around and not actually going downstream. And try dropping your line right at the current seams, right where stationary or water that's moving upstream meets where the water is moving downstream. If you toss your line in right where those current seams are, many times you can get onto some fish. And then the last thing we'll talk about is water levels. Water levels drastically affect where the fish are holding. Now, you might find that there's a spot that's excellent in the spring where you can pull in lots of fish, but then later on in the year, when the water has fallen, you'll find that that spot isn't very good at all. This is an area where modern technology can help you out. In most areas of the U.S., there are lots of measuring stations that monitor the water level of streams and rivers. And you can look these up on the internet and see what the current water level is near the spot where you're fishing. And if you chance onto a good fishing spot, look up the water level when you get home and write that down, and soon you'll develop a pretty good database of what spots are good at what water levels. So hopefully you found this information helpful, and if you have any other questions or advice, leave those in the comments below.